Welcome to the Poochie Baby Podcast. This is Michelle, your host, and I am the owner and operator of PoochieBaby.com. In today's episode, I would like to talk to you guys about why I think it's important that we should teach our kids to be crafty. We need to teach them to love arts and crafts. Of course, I'm coming from a female perspective, and traditionally, females have been craftier than males, but there are many guys out there who are pretty crafty, but it takes a different form a lot of times. Guys usually enjoy doing woodworking and that type of thing, maybe even gardening, which can be kind of crafty. Females or women, we generally like to do more of the sewing, knitting, crocheting, and we like to do all the DIY projects around the house to make the houses beautiful, the decorating, all the little cutesy holiday decorations, that type of thing. But don't get me wrong, I know there are a lot of guys who do that too. I know a lot of guys who actually sew. So it's not either male or female. And I think it's important that we teach our kids, whether they are boys or girls, that being crafty is important. And there are a lot of reasons for this. I am a lifelong crafter. As far back as I can remember, I was doing something all the time. My mother was a crafty person. And whether she did it because she wanted to, I don't really know. It may have been because she had to. Sewing was not an option really for my mom. My mom had to sew because she had 6 kids, and it was much more cost effective for her to sew our clothes than to go out and buy us clothes. And she also loved to have us being matchy-matchy. So my sister and I had matching dresses, and the boys always had matching shirts. All of our family photos, all of that stuff, we were all matchy-matchy, the whole family. But that wasn't the only thing that she did. My mom has always also been a gardener. She has the greenest thumb of anybody that I've known in my life. She can make anything grow. She also was painting. Of course, I've talked about the Trichem. She always had Trichem, and we were painting and decorating wall art and our sheets for our beds and curtains for our windows. And we even would take off the plating, the plates that went on the light fixtures up on the ceiling. We'd take those down and paint on those and decorate those to match our bedroom decor. We did all of these things, and my mom is the one who taught us to do all of these things. Now, why I became such an avid crocheter is kind of a mystery to me, because my mom does not crochet. She is not the one who taught me how to crochet. I actually learned from a neighbor somehow, some way, when I was about 7 years old. But I did learn how to sew from my mom. I learned how to cook from my mom. I learned how to garden from my mom. The painting, kind of, sort of. She doesn't really draw. I used to draw a lot and paint a lot. I don't do that anymore. But my daughter does that quite a bit now, and she's very good at it. And I have done these things, like I said, as far back as I can remember. I can remember being tiny and doing crafts. So when you are crafting and making things, especially for young children, it is a great way to teach them hand-eye coordination, and also using those fine motor skills, because they have to use their hands, maybe do fine details. When the drawing and using the implements, they're using a spirograph or something. You can make pictures and do drawings with spirographs. You can do the painting and, of course, the drawing, beading, whatever it may be. They have to use their fine motor skills, and it takes quite a bit of hand-eye coordination. Sewing, hand-eye coordination. You have to learn all of these skills. Another thing that I learned very early on from being so crafty is I learned how to problem solve. My mom wasn't always right there to fix any little problem that was going on with what I was doing. If I ran into a bump or I couldn't figure out how to do something, I had to sit there and figure out how I was going to work out this problem, or how I was going to get something to look the way I wanted it to look, or to sew correctly. So it built up problem solving skills, and I had to do that independently. And that is a skill that so many children need today. They really do. And crafting is a great way to do that. And it's a safe way to do that. Think about it. They're not out doing something that could be dangerous or unsafe. They can be sitting and trying to work out problems and just work those skills out while they're crafting. Another reason why I think it's very important too is because for some reason all of these activities that I did when I was a child really are focused in my mind, in my memories. They are great memories that I have of childhood, and they stand out to me. And they're like precious memories to me, especially if you are sitting down with your kids doing a project. They're going to remember that forever. A great way to emphasize these memories is also to keep a scrapbook. Have them keep a scrapbook of all the projects that they do. Something similar to the way that I do. Every week I do a journal, and it's a scrapbook type of art journal. And I even actually film it for my YouTube, and I put it on there just showing the process of what I do. And it's a way to keep me accountable also for kind of looking at the week that we just had, putting in pictures and some decorations, and kind of journaling about all the things that we did during the week. And it is a great memory keeper for the kids to have. They can go back and look at all the pictures, see what we were doing, and it's just wonderful. Now, all of these things are going to stand out in their mind, and they can go back and remember them for years to come, because not only do they have that memory of it, they also have the physical evidence in the scrapbook that I'm keeping for them. So you can check that out if you go to the blog, poochiebaby.com, because I post those over there on a blog post with the video on the post where you can watch how I put my scrapbook together. I really recommend that if you have children, start crafting with them. There are so many great projects that you can find. Just search on Google, look on Pinterest. Pinterest is a great way actually to look for these crafts, because you can actually see the pictures and get an idea of what you may like to do before you click over and go check out the post and get the tutorial, or see what supplies you may need to complete the project. Teach them to crochet if you know how to crochet. Teach them to knit if they know how to knit. It doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl. Teach them to knit and crochet. Teach them how to cook. Teach them how to garden. Teach them how to sew. Many of these are skills that we used to have as just a culture in the past, and they seem to have gone away. And maybe they're making a little bit of a resurgence now. But in the past, we had home economics class. There were these classes in school where you actually learned how to sew, you learn how to cook, you learn how to clean your house. I don't even know if they have a home economics class anymore, to tell you the truth. But these are skills that some people are lacking in the population right now because they just simply weren't taught. And it's not that they didn't want to teach them. Maybe they didn't have the time to teach them. So, or we didn't feel it was necessary then. But think about it. I would hate to live in a world where someday we don't have anybody left who knows how to crochet or to knit or to sew their own clothes. So go check out Pinterest, find some neat projects, and get busy with the kids. If you guys have any questions about today's podcast, just get in touch with me over on Facebook. You can find me by just putting in @mypoochiebaby, and my page will come up and you can ask me over there. You can also find me on Twitter, and that is @Michelle_Gaylor. I'm on Instagram @MichelleGaylor, and you can find my YouTube channel, which is Michelle Gaylor's Poochie Baby, and that is a crafting and crochet channel. As always, you can find all of this information on the blog, which is poochie-baby.com. Everything is there. All the podcast episodes, the YouTube videos, everything gets posted over there. You can sign up for the newsletter, which will keep you current on everything that's posted on the site. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you next time.